After many trials and tribulations, when Diep once left James in exchange for money to save her mother, and he resolutely sought her out again, they overcame every barrier together. One winter day, as Diep accepted her estranged mother and James faced being deceived by a rival, their love seemed stronger than ever. In episode 37, the story reveals Diep's journey learning on the job at James's company, where new challenges at work and from the past begin to emerge. Will they be able to overcome the obstacles that lie ahead? In the dim morning light, Diep stands in the small wooden house on the farm. The old planks that make up the walls reveal tiny gaps where the sunlight slips through, creating faint streaks of light on the earthen floor. Mist from the nearby fields covers the garden in a thin white layer, like a fragile curtain concealing her worries. The peeping of chicks from the wooden coop outside mingles with the soft whistle of the wind through the leaves, carrying the chill of dawn. She feels a twinge of anxiety when thinking about James, her beloved who promised to protect her after she learned the painful truth about her family from Tuan, that her uncle had once offered her as collateral to the Pau family in exchange for 2 buffaloes. She whispers to herself, her voice soft as though to encourage herself, "I have to try today. He's so busy I can't make him worry more." Suddenly, the light sound of footsteps outside the door breaks the silence. Diep looks up, slightly startled to see a petite woman in a faded green sweater, a simple appearance yet exuding calm composure. The woman smiles, her eyes warm like the morning sun piercing the mist. "Hello, may I ask if you are Diep?" Diep, surprised, her eyes showing curiosity mixed with a bit of confusion, answers softly as if afraid of breaking the peaceful air. "Yes, that's me. Who are you?" The woman steps closer, her old canvas shoes lightly scuffing the earthen floor, her smile growing more radiant. "I'm the tutor that Mr. James hired to teach you. My name is Han." Diep feels a mix of excitement and nervousness at the mention of James, the man who brought her hope during her darkest days. "Oh, please come in," she says, her voice trembling in surprise. She quickly opens the worn wooden door, inviting Miss Han inside. Miss Han enters, her canvas shoes making a slight sound on the floor. Her gaze sweeps over the simple room with a chipped wooden table and a few old chairs, yet shows no judgment, only kindness in her smile. Diep speaks hastily, her voice faltering as she tries to hide her unease. "Please wait here a moment, I'll make you some warm water." She walks quickly to the corner where a small clay stove still glows with the embers from the morning's fire, her hands shaking slightly as she picks up the kettle. She thinks, "Did James really hire her to teach me? Why does he want me to learn?" Miss Han nods, sitting down on the wooden chair, her voice gentle. "Sure, take your time, I'm not in a hurry." The atmosphere inside the small house suddenly becomes warmer, like a fresh breeze passing through Diep's life, once filled with so much hurt. Seated on the old wooden chair in the little house, Miss Han is bathed in the faint light streaming through the cracks in the door, highlighting the faint lines on her face. Traces of a woman with life experience. Dai brings a cup of warm water over, her trembling hands setting it on the table, her voice unsure. "Please wait a bit, I didn't expect you so early." Miss Han smiles, her eyes radiating warmth like morning sunshine through the fog. "I traveled quite a distance to get here. It's over 10 kilometers from my house, and I had to ask many locals for directions before they led me to this small hut." Diep nods, her expression tinged with both embarrassment and concern. "It must have been tiring. It's several dozen kilometers from your house, and you must have had to ask around a lot to find this place." Miss Han nods lightly, her tone comforting. "Yes, it was a bit far, and the dirt roads were bumpy, but I'm used to it. Are you living here alone?" Diep lowers her head, her hands gripping the torn hem of her shirt. Her voice is barely audible. "Yes, I'm on my own here." Miss Han looks at her, her eyes as gentle as an older sister's. "Let me ask a few things. What grade did you finish?" Diep hesitates, her eyes reflecting a hint of shame, as if afraid to reveal the part of her past she has always kept hidden. I only studied up to the 3rd grade. If you ask me honestly, that's my honest answer." Ms. Han nods, her tone kind and without judgment. "Now, do you want to continue studying? Tell me about your situation, why you stopped going after 3rd grade. Share whatever you can so I can help you." Diep sits down opposite her, her thin hands clasped together on the chipped wooden table, trembling slightly. She speaks softly but sincerely. "Well, back then, my family was very poor. My parents died early, so I lived with my uncle. He had a large family and girls like us weren't allowed to go to school. Only the boys could. The girls had to marry early. I really wanted to learn, but I never got the chance. In those days, all I could do was housework and dream of letters I could never truly grasp." Ms. Han nods, a flicker of deep sympathy in her eyes. "I understand your hardships. I've traveled to many places, tutoring many young people in similar situations, so I know how difficult it can be. If you genuinely want to learn more, I'm here to help. I'll give you more knowledge to reach for a brighter future. Do you want that? Diep looks up, her eyes glimmering with hope, like a small flame igniting in the darkness. Yes, I really want to learn, she says earnestly. Ms. Han smiles kindly. Good. Let me ask you a few things. You haven't been in school for a long time. Are you familiar with the alphabet? Do you remember all the letters? Please be honest so I can help you properly. Diep nods, hesitant but genuine. I do know the alphabet, but there are some letters I don't understand. For example, in the alphabet there are the letters R and D. I can't tell them apart. The teacher barely covered them before I had to drop out. Ms. Han takes out a small wooden board and some chalk from her old fabric bag, her expression patient, like a dedicated teacher. You said you can't distinguish R from D, right? Diep nods, softly replying, yes. Ms. Han writes on the board, the chalk lines clear against the worn surface, and speaks slowly, gently. Let's start here. The letter D is shaped like this. A small hook from left to right, a straight line down, and then a hook curving up to the right. This is the letter D. The letter R is formed differently. A hook from right to left, then another hook angled up. This is the letter R. You pronounce the first one as D and the second one as R. Now repeat after me. R, R, R. Diep repeats. R, 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 her voice cautious, lips pressed as if fearing a mistake. Ms. Han offers a reassuring smile. When pronouncing R, you curl your tongue upward. For D, you open your mouth and release the sound. Try again. Diep follows her instructions, taking a deep breath. Her pronunciation becomes clearer. R, D. Ms. Han nods, eyes lighting up with satisfaction. That's right. Notice something? In your name, Diep, there's the letter D, so you must distinguish them clearly. Let's practice once more. Diep agrees, her eyes shining. Yes, I understand now. Around noon at C Company, James sits in his luxurious office. Sunlight streams through a large glass window onto a glossy wooden desk, but it cannot dispel the heavy atmosphere that surrounds him. His heart feels weighed down as he thinks about the F-25 rice project, a plan he poured his heart into to help local farmers, now at risk of collapse because John has suddenly withdrawn his investment. He clenches his fist, resolving quietly, I must save this project. I can't let Diep worry. She's already suffered enough. The phone rings, breaking through his turbulent thoughts. He picks up, his voice low and controlled. Hello, James speaking. On the other end is Tuan, his assistant, sounding urgent. Sir, John wants to meet you right now at Kindman Cafe. James nods, though Tuan can't see him, and a wary gleam appears in his eyes. All right, I'll be there. He stands up, slips on his black vest and heads quickly to the garage. His thoughts race like a dark cloud. What is John plotting? He withdrew his funds without explanation and now demands an urgent meeting. This is definitely not simple. He drives toward the farm, passing along red dirt roads that kick up thick dust. The engine's roar merges with the pounding of his heart, each turn of the wheels drawing him closer to an uncertain confrontation. At C's sprawling farm, rows of lush green trees stretch out under the fading afternoon light. Diep is studying with Ms. Han at a simple wooden table set up in the yard. James arrives, his polished leather shoes dusted with red dirt. His warm baritone breaks the stillness of the surroundings. Hello, teacher. Hello, Diep. How far have you gotten today? Standing there, he radiates authority, but looks at Diep with a gentle encouragement, as if urging her onward in her new endeavor. Ms. Han looks up and smiles. Today, Diep has made good progress. She's quite competent with the alphabet, though. She still needs time to develop her thinking and communication skills. James nods, and his sharp gaze reveals agreement. You're right, Diep is smart, but she needs more time. I want to train her to work in my company. Thank you for your help. I'll ask you to come a few more times. He looks at Diep, a surge of confidence rising within him, certain she can overcome her difficult past. Ms. Han smiles gently. Just let me know if you need anything else. I'm leaving now. Travel safely. Diep stands to see her off, her eyes lingering as the woman disappears down the trail. Then she turns to James, her voice timid. I'm not sure if I can really learn this. It's a bit hard. James lightly takes her hand, his warmth lending her strength. It's okay, keep trying. It's never too late to learn. What did you study today? Diep replies, her voice quiet but steady. She taught me about spelling errors, reasoning skills, communication, ways to build wealth, and how to write my name, focusing on distinguishing R and D. James smiles, his eyes bright. Your handwriting is beautiful, she's right. If you only ever work for others, you'll remain an employee. True wealth comes from running a business. Do you remember? Diep nods, her eyes sparkling. Yes, I do. She told me I need the right mindset and knowledge to do business. James nods, his voice deep yet firm. Exactly. Keep learning. I want you to work at my company not just as any worker but as someone who creates real value. That afternoon, Diep goes to the market to sell sapodilla fruit, and James accompanies her. They sit amid the bustling atmosphere of street vendors, with the sounds of haggling blending into the smoke rising from charcoal stoves. Diep calls out, "Sweet sapodilla, 20,000 dong per kilo." Her voice is timid at first but grows more confident with James by her side. He helps arrange the round sapodillas on the stand, feeling a pang of concern when he recalls the forthcoming meeting with John, a mysterious partner whose motives remain unclear. The phone rings. Tuan's voice comes through. "Sir, John wants to see you now at kindman." James sighs and turns to Diep. "I have to go. Once you're done here, go home, okay?" Diep nods. "You must be busy. All right, see you tonight." He leaves, his mind burdened. John's motives are so mysterious. I must be careful. Who knows if this meeting will be an opportunity or a risk? That evening, in the small wooden house, Diep sits alone by the faint light of an oil lamp. It illuminates a jumble of handwriting practice on a crumpled sheet of paper. She thinks, I learned so much today, but am I really worthy of him? Insecurities from her darker days resurface, casting her heart into a momentary gloom. James returns, his footsteps sounding heavy on the porch, his voice still warm. "Diep, I'm back." She looks up, a gentle smile forming on her lips. "You're so late. I waited for you to have dinner." He steps in and pulls her into his embrace, his warmth dispelling her loneliness. "Thank you for waiting. I'll overcome every challenge for you." In James's heart, a quiet determination arises. Whatever John brings, he will protect Diep and the future they are building together. When Diep starts her training and James faces troubles caused by a rival, will these new challenges shake their bond? Stay tuned for episode 38, where James buys Diep a phone for her studies, even as his company plunges into a severe crisis. Be sure to watch and find out what happens next.
Vượt qua những rào cản của số phận hay chỉ là một giấc mơ ngắn ngủi tan biến giữa thực tại khắc nghiệt? Hành trình trong tập này sẽ mang đến câu trả lời đầy bất ngờ và dây dứt. Buổi sáng tại trang trại nhỏ, Diệp thức dậy sớm hơn thường lệ. Cô đứng bên khung cửa sổ cũ kỹ, nhìn ra khu vườn rau xanh mướt đầy dần nảy mầm, lòng chợt dần lên cảm giác bình yên hiếm hoi, như sự bình yên nhanh chóng bị xáo trộn khi cô nhìn thấy Giang, người đàn ông với nụ cười ấm áp đã làm trái tim cô rung động. Cô nhận ra mình yêu anh không phải từ hôm qua mà từ rất lâu, có lẽ từ khoảnh khắc đứng trước cô, bảo vệ cô khỏi sự tàn nhẫn của bao những ngày, khi cảm giác ngọt ngào ấy len lỏi trong vào lòng. Nỗi tự ti lại trỗi dậy như một con sóng dữ. Mình là ai mà dám yêu anh ấy? Một người phụ nữ nghèo khổ, từng bị chồng bỏ rơi, không cha không mẹ, mình không xứng đáng. Cô tự nhủ, đôi mắt mờ đi vì những giọt nước mắt kìm nén. Diệp bước chân ra, đôi tay gầy guộc ôm lấy mình để xua đi cái lạnh của cơn gió sớm. Cô cúi xuống nhìn Haki, chú chó đang bẫy đuôi bên chân cô, và mỉm cười yếu ớt. Haki, bạn đã đói chưa? Cô hỏi với giọng dịu nhẹ nhàng như nói với một người bạn thân thiết. Cô lấy chút thức ăn căn bếp nhỏ xuống, đặt xuống quan sát Haki. Anh ngấu nghiến với đôi mắt long lanh nhìn chú chó. Cô cảm thấy lòng nhẹ nhõm hơn một chút, nhưng nỗi dây dứt về Giang vẫn không ngừng gõ cửa tâm hồn cô. Mình đã từ chối anh ấy, nhưng tại sao là mình đại đau như thế này? Cô tự hỏi, tay vô thức siết chặt mép áo rách như thể muốn bám víu một điều gì đó không thể chìm vào hố sâu cảm xúc. Cô thức dậy quyết định bắt đầu ngày mới bằng công việc quen thuộc, nấu ăn cho Haki, chăm sóc vườn. Khi ngọn lửa trong bếp nhỏ bùng lên, cô nhìn vào đó, tưởng tượng con mực giam hiện ra giữa những tia